one night I was on my phone going through Twitter, and I saw a retweet from a filmmaker that I followed, and I looked into the event, which was the scarcity of black male educators, and I didn't know how large scale it actually affected our nation. And as I did more research, I contacted my teacher, who then he did research, and we just thought that we could do a 10-minute documentary on this to submit to our film festivals that we usually compete in.
I wasn't aware of the problem. I didn't know there was a problem in education with black male educators. And I'm a black male educator, but we get so fixated on what we're doing in our class that we don't see what's going on nationally. We don't, or regionally. It was a good thing to be able to get a historical perspective and a constitutional perspective also with a film like this, but it was unexpected. It's not like I planned this or planned Brown versus Board of Education or a constitutional analysis. It wasn't an assignment like this. This is where the research led us, so it was an organic investigation.
Researching Brown versus Board of Education is so important because it provides essentially context to the entire issue we have today, because that's where it all started. We went a lot into exactly what caused a lot of African American teachers to lose their jobs and why and essentially that effect has been dominoing throughout all of history, and it hasn't recovered.
I got to work with a lot of amazing people such as Mr. Peterson. He actually did our BME ending, which was the spoken word part, which he wrote a piece on the topic of the lack of black male educators. And Ryan Parker, he had a great interview, and he actually did some spoken word throughout the interview.
Before I had started working on the BME project, I had heard of Brown versus Board of Education, but I didn't really know what it was. I remember learning about it from some social studies class years back, but I remember just not being interested in it. I didn't care to learn about it. I don't really like history. And I didn't think that learning from a textbook by reading a bunch of pages and listening to a teacher lecture was really doing it for me. So getting the opportunity to work on a film that involves the topic of Brown versus Board of Education allows me to learn about the subject through something I'm interested in. I love editing video, and even though it's a little tedious sitting through 20 plus interviews and pulling the selects and getting the best shots, hearing about what everyone had to say about the subject of Brown and how some ideas contradicted each other really taught me more than any textbook ever could.